It was a time when America was still finding its strength, a land of hope and hardship where families often lived with little, and soldiers returned from battle carrying scars seen and unseen. The roads were dusty, the winters were long, and hunger was a familiar guest at many tables. Children learned early to make do with less, and mothers sang lullabies that spoke of better days to come. Yet, even in such times when the weight of struggle pressed upon every shoulder, the light of kindness could break through the shadows like dawn breaking over distant mountains. One such light came from a weary soldier named Thomas. He had served bravely for 3 long years, marching across fields where cannons had thundered and brothers had stood shoulder to shoulder against the storm of war. His regiment had seen battles that would be remembered in history books, but also quiet moments of brotherhood around campfires, sharing stories of home and dreams of return. When the war was finally over, when the last trumpet had sounded and the flags were folded, he had little left but his tattered blue uniform, a knapsack worn thin from countless miles, and the unbreakable strength of his spirit. His body was tired from years of marching, his boots were nearly worn through, and his face showed the deep lines that come not from age but from struggle. But his eyes still carried the gentleness that his mother had seen in him as a boy. The journey home would take him through unfamiliar territory, across states he had only heard about in letters from fellow soldiers. As he walked the winding country road one late autumn evening, golden and crimson leaves drifted across his path like nature's confetti, celebrating the end of conflict. The air was crisp with the promise of winter, and the sky glowed red and orange as the sun dipped behind rolling hills dotted with farmhouses. Smoke rose from distant chimneys, carrying with it the promise of warmth and home cooked meals. His stomach ached with a gnawing hunger, for in his weathered knapsack was only a single piece of bread, dry, small, and hard as stone. It was all that remained from his final military ration, all that stood between him and starvation for another day. Thomas had learned to stretch meager supplies during the war, to make a single hardtack biscuit last from dawn to dusk. He had shared his last drops of water with wounded comrades and had given his warm coat to a shivering friend on more than one winter night. Yet even as he thought of his own gnawing hunger, his heart whispered of duty, of honor, and of the compassion his mother had taught him at her knee. "I am still here," he murmured to himself, his breath visible in the cooling air. "I have been spared when so many were not. I must live in a way that honors those who fell beside me." The soldier pressed onward as twilight deepened, his footsteps steady despite his weariness. Eventually, he reached a small village nestled between golden wheat fields and apple orchards. The settlement was modest, perhaps 20 homes, a general store, a blacksmith shop, and a small church with a wooden steeple that pointed toward the evening stars. Smoke rose gently from brick chimneys, carrying with it the mingled scents of wood fires and cooking, the smell of bacon perhaps, or bread baking in clay ovens. For a moment hope stirred in Thomas's weary heart. Perhaps he would find rest here. Perhaps a kind face would welcome a returning soldier. Perhaps there would be work to earn a meal. But not every home in that peaceful village was filled with comfort and plenty. As he passed one particularly small cottage near the edge of the main lane, its garden overgrown with weeds and its fence posts leaning at odd angles, he heard the sound of soft weeping carried on the evening breeze. He turned toward the sound and saw a young woman sitting on the wooden steps of her doorway. Her dress was patched and worn thin at the elbows. Her face was pale with the worry that comes from too many sleepless nights, and her hands rested gently on the thin shoulders of a little boy beside her. The child could not have been more than 7 years old, with sandy hair that needed cutting and cheeks that were far too thin for one so young. In his small voice was the plaintive cry that no parent should ever have to hear when he asked, "Mama, will we eat today? My belly hurts so much." The woman pulled her son closer, her own tears falling silently as she tried to find words of comfort that felt honest. "I don't know, my sweet boy," she whispered. "I truly don't know. But we must have faith that tomorrow will be better." Thomas stopped in his tracks as if struck by lightning. His hand instinctively went to the worn leather strap of his knapsack, where the last piece of bread lay wrapped in a faded cloth. His own hunger gripped him like a vice, reminding him that he had not eaten a proper meal in 2 days. But the sound of the child's voice, the sight of his hollow cheeks, was stronger than the growl in his empty stomach. In that moment, he heard an echo of his own childhood, remembered his mother's gentle hands feeding him when food was scarce, recalled the sacred promise he had made to himself to always help those in greater need. He approached them slowly, his military boots quiet on the dirt path. Kneeling before the child so that their eyes were level, he looked into the boy's face and smiled gently, the same smile he had shared with young recruits who were frightened before their first battle. "Little one," he said, his voice warm despite his bone-deep weariness. "What is your name?" "Billy," the boy whispered, wiping his nose with the sleeve. "Well, Billy," Thomas said, reaching into his pack, "today you shall eat. I promise you that." From his knapsack, he drew out the precious bread. It was not much to look at, rough and dry, dark with age, hardly enough for a single meal. But in the eyes of hungry little Billy, it looked like the finest feast ever prepared. The child reached out eagerly with both small hands, but his mother quickly placed a trembling hand upon the soldier's weathered arm. "No, sir," she said softly, her voice thick with emotion and gratitude. "Please, you cannot give this to us. I can see it in your face, in the way you move. I know your weariness. You need this bread more than we do. You are starving too." Thomas shook his head, his expression firm yet infinitely kind. He had seen too much suffering in the war to ignore it now in peacetime. "Madam," he said quietly, "I have carried heavier burdens than hunger across many battlefields. I have shouldered the weight of fallen friends and the sorrow of mothers who will never see their sons return. But a child's empty stomach, a mother's helpless tears, these are weights that no heart should bear alone. Please, take this bread and let your son eat. Let me carry this burden instead." For a long moment, silence hung between them like morning mist. The woman looked into the soldier's eyes and saw not just kindness, but a deep understanding of sacrifice that comes only from having given everything for others. Then, with tears shining in her eyes like stars, she whispered, "May God bless you, soldier. May He repay your kindness 100-fold." Young Billy took the bread in both hands, holding it as though it were made of gold. He broke off a small piece and ate it slowly, his eyes closing as he savored every precious crumb. Then, surprising both adults, he broke the bread in half and offered part back to Thomas. "Share with me?" he asked simply. Thomas felt his throat tighten with emotion, but he shook his head gently. "You keep it all? Billy, grow strong." A smile spread across the boy's face, the first genuine smile his mother had seen in many difficult weeks. "Thank you, soldier man," Billy said, and those simple words carried more gratitude than any medal or commendation Thomas had ever received. The soldier rose to his feet slowly, his joints stiff from years of military life. His hunger was as sharp as ever, gnawing at him like a persistent ache, but in his heart there was a warmth that no bread could provide, a satisfaction that came from doing what was right rather than what was easy. Without another word, he tipped his worn cap to the mother and son and continued down the moonlit lane, the widow and her child watching his silhouette until he disappeared beyond the bend in the road. That night, Thomas walked on beneath a canopy of brilliant stars, the same stars that had watched over him during countless nights of war. The sky was clear and vast, and the world around him seemed somehow brighter, more hopeful. Though his stomach remained empty, his spirit felt fuller than it had in years. As he walked, he whispered to himself, "I may not have much left in this world, but I gave what I could when it mattered most, and that is enough. That is always enough." By morning, word of his extraordinary kindness had spread through the small village like wildfire. The baker's wife had heard the story from her neighbor, who had heard it from the blacksmith, who had witnessed the soldier's gift from his workshop window. People began leaving tokens of gratitude along the roadside where they hoped the soldier might pass. The farmer left a basket of red apples and fresh carrots. The baker, deeply moved by the tale of such selfless compassion, prepared a warm loaf of his finest bread and waited by his shop with a cup of hot coffee and a place by his fire. A family who had lost their own beloved son in the war welcomed Thomas to their table that very evening, saying with tears in their eyes, "You are not just a soldier returning from battle, you are a brother to us all, a reminder that goodness still exists in this weary world." And so it was that by giving away the little he had, the soldier received far more in return, not in gold or silver, but in something infinitely more valuable: love, respect, friendship, and the knowledge that his sacrifice had mattered. His single act of compassion had lit a flame that warmed an entire community. The story of the soldier's gift did not fade with the passing seasons. It was told from parent to child and from child to grandchild, becoming a treasured tale that was shared around dinner tables and hearth fires for generations to come. Young Billy, who had once wept from hunger on his mother's doorstep, grew into a strong and compassionate man, and he never forgot the gift that had changed the course of his life. Whenever he encountered another person in need, he remembered the gentle soldier's kindness, and he gave freely of what he had, even when his own resources were limited. And so the simple gift of bread became more than just a meal shared between strangers. It became a powerful symbol of true strength, not the strength found in battles won or enemies defeated, but the strength found in choosing kindness over self preservation, in choosing love over fear. For the greatest gift we can offer this world is not what we hoard for ourselves, but what we are willing to give away when it matters most. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Bright Owl for more inspiring stories and insightful content. Hit the bell icon so you never miss an update. Until next time, stay curious, stay wise, and keep shining with Bright Owl.